was born in 1930, Höchst im Odenwald, Germany, near Frankfurt am Main. Mm-hmm. And Höchst was a rather small town, but we did have a Jewish synagogue, which was Orthodox. We had to have a school after probably 35 because we were not allowed to go to the public schools. I can never remember people that weren't anti-Semitic when I was a little girl. I mean, we were not allowed to go outside. If we did, we had people running after us with butcher knives. It was so evident what was happening. You had the stormtroopers walking around. They marched around the town saying, "Hang die Juden an der Wand," which means hang the Jews on the wall, just get rid of the Jews. We stayed until after Kristallnacht. We had prepared to leave for the USA. We had everything ready. We had the papers, and I think they were going to come and pack our lift, which is a huge box that they put things in. The day of Kristallnacht, my father was out and about the town, and he heard rumors that they were going to get rid of all the Jews that day. My dad came home, and he said, "I think we'd better leave." We decided to just run. So it was just my father, my mother, my little brother, myself. And we walked and walked, and we walked for a number of days in the woods, and it was not very warm in Germany at the time. And there was nothing to eat, which becomes pretty important, or to drink. I don't know how many days we were gone. And my dad said, "Well, I think maybe we can go back." When we came to our house, my dad noticed some people, and he was afraid they were going to come after us. So we went up to the attic, thinking we could hide, but there was really no hiding place. So they came up, and they got my father out of the attic. They took him outside, and they just kept beating him. They beat him across the nose. They said, "All Jews, all die Juden, have crooked noses." So they kept beating him. He bled profusely. So while my father was being taken away, not knowing where he was being taken, my mother, who I thought was very brave, took my brother and I, and she proceeded to take us back into the woods. So we kept walking and walking, and we kept crying. We were hungry, we were thirsty, we were cold. I kept thinking there were people running after us, but in actuality there weren't. We came to a little town not far from us, and Mother was trying to find a train station that we could get on a train. We did get on a train, and Mother kept telling us to please be quiet. She was afraid, and the trains had lots of Nazi uniform people on the trains. Mother took us to Rüsselsheim. That's where an aunt lived, and we got there, and they had taken her away. And we went to Mainz, where another relative lived. And I want you to know, the Germans got in touch with this uncle to see if we were there.
Oh, they were looking for you.
They were looking for my mom. They sent her a telegram telling her if she was there, she was to come back to Höchst im Odenwald. So Mama left us there, and she went back to Höchst. She went to the mayor of the town, and she wanted to know where my dad could be. And he told her that my daddy was in Buchenwald. She told the mayor that we had everything ready to leave for the USA. At this point, we were a problem. They had not come up with a final solution. So, with all the papers intact, they did let my dad return. He had lost so much weight. In fact, I have a letter I brought. He wrote back to Germany and told them what they had done to him. And this one man, a Nazi, kept beating him and beating him. And he said there was one righteous Nazi on this train that said, "What are you doing to Mr. Reinheimer? He never did anything to you." He said if this one man didn't intervene, he would have never gotten to Buchenwald. I have been invited back to Germany. I missed my plane. The Nashville plane didn't make it to New York on time. The weather was bad. And I missed the plane going to Germany. And I really had fear about going back. I kept asking my husband, "Do you think I should go back?" When we missed the plane, I said to myself, if God thinks I shouldn't go back. Because the little girl in me, inside of me, was just as afraid as the day when I left. We had to spend the night in New York, and I called both of my sons, one that lives here in Nashville, and I said, "Ronnie, I think we're coming back home. I think I'm not going to take this trip." He said, "Mom, I think you started. You need to go." There were people dispersed from everywhere coming back to Höchst, and they asked us questions, and the things they said, it just aggravated me. Because one of them said, "Former citizens of Höchst." I thought to myself, former citizens? I'd still be a citizen if you treated me with some sort of respect, or didn't think we were subhuman. There was one man in the group that had corresponded with all of us and tracked everybody down. And I asked him why he did this, and he said he did this because his grandmother had kept a Jewish family, and the Nazis found out about it. They walked her through town and stoned her. One day you were a person, the next day you were a varmint. I mean, you were a nothing. Some people can't, they don't want to believe things like that happen. I think we need to be very vigilant, and I think we need to keep doing the Holocaust programs. And I think that it's just, it's not just the Jewish people, there are other Holocausts.